Okay, guys, coming to the end of the development. This is our 194 port. The only thing I changed on it is I gave it a big increase in throat radius on the intake and the exhaust. As far as our liquid, she looks pretty good. I remember looking pretty good last time we did this. Okay, we're good. This is a 50-degree valve seat. Somebody crabbed and said I had no valve seat, which is fine. What I don't think they realize is I blend my bottom cut in with a burr, so it doesn't look like much of a valve job, which is fine. I mean, he's welcome to his opinion. But he said something about it not being a 50. I don't know how you can look at it and tell the degrees. He's much better than I am in any case. Let's take a look at the bore. All right, this actually looks pretty good, but I remember the 194 looked pretty good last time with the much tighter throat ratio. All right, she looks pretty decent here. Now remember, this last cut, I took a big chunk out of that ramp and I really moved it over a lot. I gave it some more short side radius. You can see it actually looks like it needs more short side. The way it's right now, right, it's got more roof room than short side room. And when we look at the airspeeds, we'll be able to see what's up with that. In any case, this hasn't been broken through. Right, we can see it's real thin. You can see where the burr started to dent it. So that's opened up about as much as you want to do it. The roof has not been touched. It hasn't even had a burr on the roof because the roof is super deep to begin with. It doesn't really need more roof action. Okay, don't pay no attention to wifey on the other side of the wall, blah, blah, blah. She speaks really loudly. In any case, this is where we were last time. It was a 194.50 with a 1.5 exhaust. This was our 7th cut. That's why I took a big chamber cut out of it. At least I think that was it. May have taken the chamber cut out before that. Let me check. All right, 5th cut was more ramp angle. That was almost all minuses. Well, I seem to be missing the 6th cut. In any case, this is what we had, which wasn't bad. I mean, we still got 243 at 50, which was okay. Our throat ratio is almost 90. Okay. Take two different measurements, average them, give us our throat ratio. So what I did here is I opened up the throat ratio considerably. It is now 91.7% because supposedly the 50 degree likes a bigger throat. Well, according to our pluses and minuses here, it didn't seem to really help. In fact, we got all minuses and all the values that really matter. It only topped out a couple better at the very end. Now, we'll be able to take a look at the airspeeds and see if we can figure out what happened, but it's a loser. So the wide bowl ratio does not help this design. Remember, it's a strange port design to begin with. It is a swirl port. So I would think it's going to react differently to a throat ratio compared to a straight port. Take a look at our swirl. Minus only a tiny bit. Actually, it's a plus minus, right? Because this is a minus to begin with. Interesting how they both did that. It's interesting how close they are, really. Minus, plus, minus, minus, plus, 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 equals, plus, plus. The swirl curve barely changed compared to what we had here, which I think is interesting. Well, this is quite telling, right? From this 7th cut to this 8th cut, all minuses, because at 500, we're flowing less than we're flowing here. This is 243.3. It's only 243. It's almost exactly the same. But notice how much different the air speeds are. How is that possible? Well, because it's leaving the periphery of the valve differently. That's why. It doesn't have as quite a nice shape as it did before. I like a little bit of a bell mouth in a bowl. Now, there are plenty of guys that bring the bowl relatively straight right up to the bottom cut, and they use just the valve angles, right? The valve job angles to make the throat. Works for them. Maybe they know something more than I do. It's very, very possible. In any case, loser, 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 loser. Not a happy port. Let's take a look at the exhaust. Okay, so you can see I shrank the throat up considerably on this exhaust port. Yeah, it's got a hole in the back, but that really doesn't make that much difference. In fact, it actually flows better because it's got two exits, right? So let's take a look at what... Oh, I think I forgot. I measured the throat ratio a long time ago on this. It was only like 82%, and I brought it up considerably. Let's take a look. Okay, third cut, it was 84.1%, okay? And that's what we got. It was actually working quite well. I'm pretty sure that was still a 45 at that point. Okay, I increased the throat ratio to 85.5%, which is still tight compared to what a lot of guys run. A lot of guys run 90 plus on an exhaust. But when we compare our flows from the previous one, not a winner. Okay, I believe this was when I changed it from a 45 to a 50. It was a big loser. We were 190 plus before. And now that we gave it more throat, it's a bigger loser. Not good, right? Gained here, where you would think a 50 wouldn't, right? Minus, 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 a tiny bit up from this, which is still a loser compared to what it was. Okay, and you put a pipe on it, still doesn't save it. Interesting to me. Now, should I try for an even bigger throat on it? Bring it closer to a 90? I think that's probably a good idea, even though it was a loser. Give me your feedback on that, guys. Okay, top is the 7th cut. Bottom is the 8th cut. You can tell by the airspeeds we're not as happy. Okay. Now this was taken at 500 lift, so that was 170, and this one is 168, so it's flowing a touch less. Minus, minus, plus, minus, minus, plus. Really not good, right? Not good on any of these here. And usually you can change your throat ratio and fix the bottom of the port quite a bit. But it seems the bigger the throat ratio, well, I don't like blanket statements, so we're gonna skip that part. In any case, minus, 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 the whole port is much less happy, and it shows on the flows. What to do next? What to do next? Sunday, so I need to save my energy. Interesting thing happening tonight. It will be DV is doing a live YouTube broadcast they asked me to be part of, which I'm going to try my hardest to be part of if I can have my daughter help me with the technical aspect of it. I would love for you guys to tune in. We'll see how I do on live broadcast. I haven't done live anything in a long time. I don't think I've ever done anything live on my channel. So it'll be a fun-filled and exciting process. In any case, I was honored that DV even invited me, and I think he's thrilled because he's coming up around 50,000 for subscribers, which is no joke, as it should be. I think Andy's going to be there, and I think I can't remember his name. The guy that owns the dyno where they do the race engine challenge, I think he'll be part of it. Can't remember his name. Sorry, Greg. The old clutch is slipping. Hey, in any case, thanks for hanging out, guys. This was definitely a loser. So we definitely have to watch our throat ratios. I'm not an expert with the 50-degree valve seats, so this is... I have to experiment with it. And remember, it is also a swirl port, so it's not going to act the same as a straight port. And the one thing we can definitely take from this is this was way better before I took that big notch out of that ramp and moved that over so much. I mean, The one thing that is interesting, though, let's go back to this one for just a sec. It's not even like, hey, it's saying I need more area center of the cylinder. It really isn't. It's fairly close as far as speeds. So it's not like I can just take some area out of the short side and fix it. I think it's beyond repair at this point, to be honest. Interested in your feedback on this, guys? Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.